Welcome to Final Bow. I'm Kenneth. Today we pause to honor those remarkable souls who took their final bow, leaving behind memories that still live within us. Through their passion and dedication, they touched countless hearts. As we remember them, we celebrate their journey and the lasting impact they made on the world. Phil Garner, widely known as Scrap Iron, built his reputation on toughness and determination. His style of play was fearless, and his attitude never backed down from a challenge. Over the years, he became more than just a player. He grew into a respected figure in baseball whose influence extended far beyond the field. He passed away at the age of 76 after battling pancreatic cancer, leaving behind a legacy shaped by resilience and dedication. Early years and drive. Born in Jefferson City on April 30th, 1949, Garner was raised in a working-class environment that instilled discipline and perseverance. At the University of Tennessee, he developed into a skilled infielder with a strong bat. His approach was simple but powerful, consistent, hard work, and it laid the groundwork for everything that followed. Career highlights and success. Garner began his professional journey in 1973 with the Oakland Athletics, and later found major success with the Pittsburgh Pirates. In 1979, he played a key role in helping the Pirates win the World Series. Across 16 seasons, he played more than 1,800 games and earned 3 All-Star selections, becoming known as a reliable and steady presence. Leadership beyond playing. After retiring in 1988, Garner stepped into a managerial role, most notably with the Houston Astros. In 2005, he led the team to its first-ever World Series appearance, marking a significant milestone and showcasing his leadership and strategic thinking. Enduring legacy. Garner's story is remembered not just for achievements, but for character. His toughness, leadership, and steady spirit continue to inspire, making Scrap Iron a name that stands for perseverance and heart. Hersha Parady, born Betty Sandhoff on May 25, 1945, in Berea, Ohio, found her love for acting at a young age. As a teenager, she performed in local theater productions around Cleveland, where her passion for the stage began to take shape. Those early experiences gave her the confidence to pursue acting more seriously and set the foundation for a steady career in entertainment, career and notable roles. In the early 1970s, she moved west to expand her opportunities, even performing alongside Jon Voight in a touring production of A Streetcar Named Desire. She later appeared in television shows like Mannix and the Waltons. However, her most recognized role was Alice Garvey in Little House on the Prairie, a kind and gentle character she portrayed from 1977 to 1980, earning a special place in viewers' hearts. Personal life and later years. Parody shared part of her life with producer John Peveril, and together they had a child. Over time, she chose a quieter life, stepping back from acting and making only occasional public appearances. Legacy. She passed away at the age of 78 in Norfolk, Virginia. She is remembered for her warmth, dedication to her craft, and the lasting connection she created with audiences. George Baldock built his football journey through determination and steady growth rather than instant fame. Born in England on March 9, 1993, he developed his skills as a reliable right back and wing back. His professional career began at Milton Keynes Dons FC, where he gradually earned recognition. To sharpen his game, he spent time on loan with clubs such as Northampton Town FC, Tamworth FC, EBV Vestmannaeyjar, and Oxford United FC. His spell at Oxford United stood out, as his performances earned him a place in the League Two Team of the Year for the 2015-16 season, marking an important step forward in his career. Rise and professional impact. In 2017, Baldock joined Sheffield United FC, where he became a consistent and admired presence over 7 seasons. Known for his work ethic and reliability, he played a key role in the club's rise and its time in the Premier League. With over 200 appearances, he proved his value as a dependable team player. In 2024, he took on a new chapter by signing with Panathinaikos FC. Eligible to represent Greece through his grandmother, he also earned 12 international caps, reflecting his versatility and commitment. His passing at 31 was sudden, but his career remains a lasting example of professionalism and dedication. Edith Eger was born on September 29, 1927 in Košice, a place shaped by shifting borders and cultures. Growing up in a close-knit Jewish family, she was surrounded by learning, discipline, and creativity. As a child, she found joy in movement, especially ballet and gymnastics, where she showed remarkable promise. Her dedication even earned her a place on the Hungarian Olympic gymnastics team. Life felt full of possibility, and her early years were defined by ambition and hope before history took a devastating turn. War and survival. In 1944, everything changed with the Nazi occupation of Hungary during World War II. Edith and her family were forced from their home and sent to Auschwitz concentration camp. There, she was separated from her parents, whom she never saw again. Alongside her sister, she endured immense suffering across multiple camps and a forced march near the war's end. In 1945, she was finally freed, barely alive, but holding on to the will to survive. A new beginning. After the war, Edith returned home only to face deep loss. Determined to rebuild, she married and moved to the United States in 1949. Starting over wasn't easy, but it marked the beginning of a new chapter filled with resilience and quiet determination to heal. Healing others through psychology. In America, Edith chose to turn her pain into purpose. She studied psychology, earned her doctorate, and became a clinical psychologist focusing on trauma and recovery. Her work, including time at the University of Southern California, helped countless individuals face their past and move forward. She believed deeply in the power of choice, how people respond to hardship can shape their healing. Voice, legacy, and influence. Through her books like The Choice and the Gift, Edith shared her journey with honesty and compassion. She encouraged others to confront pain and rediscover strength within themselves. Passing away on April 27, 2026, she left behind more than a story of survival. She left a message of hope, resilience, and the enduring ability to rebuild a meaningful life. Dave Mason, born David Thomas Mason on May 10, 1946 in Worcester, England, developed an early love for music shaped by blues, jazz, and early rock. As a young guitarist and songwriter, he quickly stood out for his expressive playing style and emotional approach to composition. Rise with Traffic. In the late 1960s, he co-founded Traffic with Steve Winwood, Jim Capaldi, and Chris Wood. The band became known for blending rock, jazz, and folk into a fresh sound. Mason contributed songs like Hole in My Shoe and Feelin' All Right, which went on to become widely recognized classics. Solo career and collaborations. After leaving Traffic, Mason built a successful solo career with songs such as We Just Disagree. He also worked with major artists including Jimi Hendrix, Eric Clapton, Paul McCartney, and George Harrison, showing his versatility and wide respect in the industry. Legacy and later years. In his later years, health challenges affected his touring schedule, leading him to step back from live performances. He spent his final years in Gardnerville, remembered for his lasting contribution to rock music and his influence on generations of musicians. His songs continue to resonate with listeners worldwide, keeping his musical spirit alive across generations and beyond always. He flew home from his last shot at a football career with exactly $7 in his pocket. Not a symbolic number, not a dramatic exaggeration, just a single bill and a few coins after years of training, scholarships, and belief that his body and work ethic would be enough to secure his future. They weren't. Today, that same man is a global entertainment figure, a billionaire entrepreneur, and one of the highest-paid actors in Hollywood history. But between those 2 points lies a quieter, heavier story that never fits neatly into headlines. It is a story shaped by failure, identity loss, family struggle, and reinvention. It is also the story of how someone rebuilds themselves when the only version they ever knew collapses completely, and how even the smallest ending can become the beginning of something far larger than what was lost. A legacy that came before him. Dwayne Douglas Johnson was born into a legacy that existed long before he understood it. His father, Rocky Johnson, was one of the first black tag team champions in professional wrestling, a pioneer who earned respect in an industry that was often unwelcoming. His grandfather was also a respected wrestling figure, adding another layer of expectation to his name. But legacy can feel heavy for a child who hasn't chosen it. Instead of inspiration, it sometimes feels like pressure, like the future has already been written. In their household, discipline and toughness were constant values, but emotional openness was limited. Strength was defined through endurance, not expression. This created a complex environment where love existed, but emotional communication often struggled to match it, leaving young Dwayne to interpret identity through performance rather than conversation. A childhood built on constant movement, life for the Johnson family was defined by constant relocation due to the nature of professional wrestling. Dwayne spent his childhood moving across cities and countries, including California, Hawaii, Tennessee, and even New Zealand. Each move carried hope that stability would follow, but it rarely did. Financial uncertainty often shadowed daily life, and the experience of scarcity became familiar far too early. Small moments carried weight, watching parents calculate expenses, sensing tension during simple purchases, and understanding unspoken limitations. These experiences shaped his awareness of pressure and survival long before adulthood. Yet within this instability, he developed adaptability and resilience. He learned how to adjust quickly, connect with new environments, and observe people carefully. These skills would later become unexpectedly valuable, even if they were first formed through circumstances no child should have to interpret so early. A defining moment of crisis. When Dwayne was 14, his family was facing one of its most difficult periods. During a moment of overwhelming emotional strain, his mother stepped out of their car near a busy road in a state of crisis. She was quickly pulled to safety, but the moment left a lasting impression on him. It was not just a frightening incident. It became a turning point in how he understood emotional struggle and human fragility. Later in life, he would describe it as one of the most difficult memories he carried. What stayed with him was not fear alone, but realization. Strength is not the absence of breaking, but what happens after. That experience reshaped how he viewed his mother, not as someone defeated, but as someone carrying more weight than most people could see from the outside. Football as a first identity. In high school, football became the first space where Dwayne Johnson felt a sense of direction. At McKinley High School in Hawaii, his physical presence and natural athleticism began to stand out. Coaches noticed his ability, and for the first time, he had something that felt stable and measurable. Football offered structure, recognition, and a clear path forward. It also gave him identity outside of instability at home. His performance earned him a scholarship to the University of Miami, one of the most competitive college football programs in the country. Entering that environment, he believed he was stepping into the beginning of a professional sports career. At that time, everything he had endured seemed to be leading toward one outcome: the NFL, the collapse of a dream. At the University of Miami, reality shifted quickly. The program was filled with elite athletes, many already destined for professional careers. While Dwayne was disciplined and strong, he found himself lower on the depth chart, often watching from the sidelines. The difference between potential and elite performance became clear in small, repeated moments. Eventually, the NFL draft came and went without his name being called. That silence carried more weight than expected. He later described it as deeply disorienting, not just professionally but personally. Football had become his identity, and without it, he felt unanchored. He still graduated, but the dream he had built his life around no longer existed in the way he imagined. $7 and the breaking point. After a short attempt in the Canadian Football League with the Calgary Stampeders, he was cut from the team within months. He returned home with only $7 left after travel and expenses. That moment became a quiet turning point. There was no immediate breakthrough or dramatic decision, just uncertainty. What followed was a period of emotional withdrawal. He stopped training, struggled with direction, and spent long stretches isolated. Later, he openly acknowledged experiencing depression during this time, describing it as a loss of identity more than anything else. The future he had prepared for no longer existed, and he had not yet discovered what could replace it. For the first time, effort alone did not seem enough to guarantee direction. Rebuilding through support and perspective recovery did not come instantly. One of the most important influences during this period was his father, Rocky Johnson, who encouraged him to stay grounded and patient. Rather than offering solutions, he offered presence. That support helped shift Dwayne's perspective from loss to transition. He began to understand that identity did not have to be tied to one profession or outcome. Slowly, he re-entered structure through physical training and eventually found a new path in professional wrestling. It was not an immediate escape from struggle, but a gradual rebuilding of discipline and belief. More importantly, it was the first time he began to see value in reinvention rather than replacement, reinvention inside the wrestling ring. When he entered WWE in 1996 as Rocky Maivia, expectations were high due to his family legacy. However, audience reaction was harsh and immediate. He was rejected publicly, with crowds chanting against him during performances. For a moment, it seemed like another failure might repeat itself. Instead of leaving, he adapted. He embraced the reaction, reshaped his character, and slowly transformed into The Rock. That shift changed everything. The same audiences that once rejected him began to celebrate him. Catchphrases became cultural moments, and he evolved into one of wrestling's most influential figures. This transformation was not just professional, it was psychological. He learned how to turn resistance into momentum rather than defeat. Hollywood and the second reinvention wrestling success eventually opened doors to Hollywood, but the transition was not smooth. Early roles often relied on physical presence rather than depth, and the industry was uncertain about his long-term potential. Films like The Scorpion King gave him visibility, but he still faced skepticism. Over time, he refined his choices, focusing on projects that allowed personality and range to emerge. The turning point came with Fast Five, which redefined his position in the industry. From there, he built a consistent presence in major franchises, eventually becoming one of the highest-paid actors in the world. Parallel to acting, he launched Seven Bucks Productions and expanded into business ventures like Terramana Tequila, building a diversified empire, family, struggle, and perspective. Despite global success, he remained open about ongoing mental health challenges, including periods of low mood and emotional fatigue. His personal life evolved as well, including his marriage to Lauren Hashian and his role as a father. Fatherhood became a grounding force, shifting his definition of success toward presence and responsibility rather than achievement alone. He also increased focus on philanthropy, supporting children's health initiatives and disaster relief efforts. His decisions increasingly reflected values shaped by early hardship, stability, opportunity, and empathy. The empire he built became less about personal elevation and more about expanding access for others who began with fewer opportunities. The meaning of what was built. Looking back, the journey from $7 to global recognition is not just a story of success, but of reconstruction. Each phase, childhood instability, athletic failure, public rejection, reinvention, and expansion, became part of a longer process of identity formation. Nothing was linear. Nothing was guaranteed. What stands out most is not achievement itself, but persistence through repeated loss of identity. The same man who once returned home with nothing built systems that now support others. His story is less about escaping failure and more about learning how to live through it without allowing it to define the final outcome.